This bike is going to be a challenge. 3 mechanics have tried to work on it. 3 mechanics have failed. So nobody can get this bike to run. This is a 1991 Honda CR250 frame with a 1995 Honda CR250 engine. So kind of a unique bike. Looks like somebody at one time engine swapped it. The seller put a ton of new parts onto it. Plastic, seat cover, brakes, wheels, tires, everything. And he said it ran good up until I think a couple weeks ago, and he said it quit running. And he sent it to 2 of his buddies who are mechanics, and they could not get it running either. He said he's never failed at a project before. He's always gotten it to run. So he said giving up on this one, it was really, really hard for him. But I bought this thing for $13.50. It was up for $17.50. So he came down quite a bit on price, and yeah, he was stumped. He said he went through everything. He did leak down test, spark plug change, compression check, carburetor cleaning. He said he did like 8 times. He said he checked everything. Fuel cleaned out, replaced, new gas line, new air filter, everything. He said everything was gone through. Spark looks good, compression was 160, so he doesn't know what's going on. So today's goal is to get this thing up and running and driving. But it is going to be a challenge because that guy checked everything. So I'm thinking it's probably something simple that he overlooked, hopefully. And we're gonna find out today if we can figure this thing out. I'm kind of leaning towards electrical, but he said it was bright blue spark in the daylight. Alright, little walk around here. Looks like it's got a new pipe on there, FMF, new seat cover, new plastics, new tires, new chain and sprockets. The tank looks like it was painted at one point with black paint. Looks like he couldn't strip all that off. There's a carb kit in there, new front tire on there, new brakes. He said there's new springs in the shocks here. So everything was gone through, and I'll go through the list of parts he included with it. It's pretty extensive. ASV levers. So pretty nice looking bike. Everything is tight, all bearings were gone through. So we will see if we can get this thing running. Let's just kick it over, see what it sounds like. Maybe it'll pop over. So to start this thing, turn the gas on, turn the choke on, give it a couple kicks. It's either flooded out or it's not getting spark, it sounds like, because it's not even popping over, backfiring, nothing. So let's get in the garage and start digging into it. Alright, we got the bike in the garage, let's start working on it. So I could tell the seller was really distraught that he couldn't get this thing to run. I think it really bothered him. He was very meticulous in everything he did to the bike. So let's go through the list of parts he put on this thing. So he said the following parts are new within the last 6 months and have paperwork: Bridgestone tires and tubes, UFO plastics, rear brake caliper, rear brake cylinder, rear brake line, front and rear EBC brake pads and rotors, chain and sprocket to give slightly more low end torque, Honda DOT4 brake fluid, Honda coolant, ABS unbreakable clutch lever, Renthal handlebars, RID valve, twin air filter, royal purple synchro mesh, all balls swing arm bearings, front forks rebuilt with all balls kit and Honda fluid, NGK spark plug, FMF pipe, all balls carb rebuild, seat cover. And then he was asking $17.50 for it. So he put quite a bit of money and time into this bike. So hopefully we can get it running. Let's see how much fuel's in there. Smells like fresh gas. And he said he tried changing out the gas, thinking maybe there was water in it. And so we'll see. Let's start by checking the gas flow out of the gas tank. Make sure that's nice and steady. So what's weird to me is this bike was running fine, and all of a sudden one day it just shut off. I don't like that. I'm really hoping it's not like the crank or something weird like that. It's coming now. Alright, checking the gas flow. Yep, it's mixed, that's for sure. Good gas flow. And we can just check this for water. You'd be able to see the separation of water and gas and oil. I don't see any water in there at all. So fuel looks pretty good. So that is not the issue. The other thing we can check right away is the vent line for the gas cap. A lot of times these plug up, this tank won't breathe and it won't allow gas to go to the carb. So let's just see if you can blow through this. A little gross stuff on the end of it. Yep, that's venting. Gas cap checks out. So the seller said there's a new kick lever on here, and I believe new kick lever gears. So that's working pretty good. There's Honda oil in here, I guess, so let's take a look at that. Looks like you can't get the cap off without taking the pipe off. It's a swapped engine. Not everything's gonna line up perfectly. There we go. Oh yeah, there's some in there. Looks pretty clear. We're gonna check the level of it. Yep, it's at the perfect level. Not milky at all. So this guy filled it up perfectly. This thing takes 850 milliliters of oil. So oil level looks perfect. And that tells us that the water pump seals are actually sealing properly. So that checks out. Alright, let's check the transmission here quick, make sure everything shifts properly. Neutral right now. First gear. Second, third, fourth, fifth. Everything appears to be smooth. Looks like there's a new chain guide here as well. Get the seat off of here. So seat cover was installed correctly. A lot of people leave these really loose when they install them. And there's a bunch of crinkles right here. This guy actually did a pretty good job. Wasn't kidding about the new air filter in there. Looks brand new. Twin air, all oiled up. That looks perfect. At the engine here. So I'm looking at the head gasket right now, making sure there's no coolant leaking around there. So far I'm not seeing anything. there's new Boyson reeds in here as well. And he jetted the carb according to the reeds. Yeah, there's no leaking around the head at all. That all looks really good. Is there coolant in it? Oh yeah, topped off. Yeah, so far this bike is looking really good. Let's get that spark plug out. Looks like there's a new boot on here as well. BR8EIX plug. Yeah, it's brand new. So it's still white. See, I don't think this plug's ever been run before. Alright, let's see if we got any spark here. He said it was bright blue. Let's see if that's true. Oh yeah. That is amazing spark. So he said there's 160 pounds of compression. Let's check it. Alright. We are going to do throttle open and kick away. There we go. No, we've got more than 160 pounds of compression. Wow. We have about 200 pounds of compression. So I don't know what his compression gauge was reading, but that's almost over 200. I think if we kick it a little bit more, it'll be over that. Let's see. Yeah, that's amazing compression. So we're at like 198 PSI. Yeah, that's pretty good. So compression definitely isn't the issue. All right, right here we have access to the power valves. This will tell us if they're set up correctly. Looks like that's tight now. Pretty good. All right. So power valve shaft should be pointed vertical right now, and yeah, it is. So you can see that looks good. And as this thing fires up, that line should be horizontal to the H right there. So we don't know if that's working until we get this thing fired up. So as of right now, we have really good spark, really good compression, but we don't know if it's sparking at the right time. I've seen woodruff key shear off in here, and then that flywheel will just spin as it sparks at the wrong time, preventing the engine from starting. So we can check the flywheel woodruff key. And I've also seen where the pipes are plugged up. So when I was there, I saw that this pipe was kind of disconnected in there. Let me get a flashlight. The baffle in there isn't lined up perfectly with the hole on the exhaust, so that can move freely in there, see that? And I don't know if there's a clear hole going all the way down and out of here. You can see this is kind of janky. Looks like it was welded up. So maybe it's not getting good airflow out of the pipe, preventing it from starting. So that's one other possibility. So we're gonna take off that silencer and try that as well. But that's one thing I saw when I was there that I thought maybe could potentially be the problem. But we'll check that out a little bit later. Let's look at the stator next. I don't know if the seller checked this or not. We'll find out. That would be awesome if it was the problem. Just get a new woodruff key and slap that back in there, and problem solved. I'm gonna find out. looks like a new stator as well in there. You can see the stator wires look brand new. Let's see if the flywheel moves when we kick it over. Yep. But what we're gonna do is take off the flywheel and just check out that woodruff key. There's a little washer on there as well. Came right off easy. And as you can see, woodruff key is right there, looking perfect. Not sheared off at all. So that is definitely not the problem either. Looks really good. And check our stator, make sure that's sparking at the right time. So there should be an arrow right down here, off there. Yeah, that really can't move. Let's see if this one can move at all. That one can move a little bit. That's right in the middle. That looks perfect. So we should not have a problem. We'll spark it all. Get the flywheel back on here. That fits like a glove. Yeah, so shouldn't be any issues with that. So that is not a problem. Let's get the silencer up. Looks like it's half on there. I'm wondering if the guy already checked it. You can see the washer is missing from there. Alright, one thing you can do is blow through this. That might be plugged up. So looking at this silencer, you can see it's all welded right there. That's nice and tight at least. But right in here, that moves quite a bit. Let's see if that's actually connected in here. Alright, that's interesting. So it's actually missing the tube that goes into there and out through the silencer. But you can see through it. So it's not plugged up or anything, but it should have a tube going from here all the way into there, which could potentially be a problem, but it is going all the way through, so it wasn't plugged up. It should still start, you know. You can see the blue towel on the other side. So I don't think that's a problem. We'll leave it off for now and check it, just to make sure. All right, silencer is off. Let's kick it over a couple times, see if she fires up. Yep, I don't think that was the problem. All right, on to the next thing, which would be fuel. So we have spark, we have compression, we've got air coming out of the pipe, so it's not a plugged pipe. And we've got spark at the right time as well. So that kind of only leaves fuel left. Alright, so I noticed that the throttle feels kind of weird. Like it feels like the slide's not going back all the way down. Can't hear it. See, usually you'd be able to hear it knock. You can hear when you go up, the slide hit, but it should hit on the way down as well. Unless the throttle was way, way up. So maybe it's a stuck slide in the carb. Looks like a new manifold as well. New reeds in there too. We'll check those. Make sure those are new. Ugh, come on. I can see fuel leaking out of the carb into the boot. I'm wondering if this thing's rich. Ah, it looks like the slide's all the way down. See if we can go down even further. I want to hear it click. And the slide's in the right way, cut out towards the intake side. So that all looks good. Looks like it's got new lines on the carb. Alright. Needle is nice and tight. Check the clip position here. Alright, needle clip position right in the middle. That looks good. Alright, let's see if there's any gas in here. Looks like there might be. There's definitely gas in there. Yeah, plenty of gas. Gotta be something with the carb. New carburetor screws, it looks like. Yeah, carb looks perfectly clean. Let's see what jets we have in here. Running a 172 main and a 55 pilot. That sounds perfect. What the heck is going on with this thing? That's clear. Let's see if the pilot's clear here. Yep, pilot's clear. Let's see, that's a 55. So far, not seeing any issues with this carb. Looks like the float height was set incorrectly. So that should be level with that surface there. See the line here on the float? It should be level with that surface. It's a little bit low. So that float height needs to come up a bit. We'll take that out and just inspect the float. Looks like it wasn't getting enough fuel to the bowl. No holes in the float. That feels good. Check out the needle. Looks perfect. There's a rebuild kit in here. That's what the guy said. That all looks perfect in there. Let's see what the air screw's at. It should be 1.5 turns out. I know that because I have another 1995. Here we go. 1, 2. That was 2 turns out on the air screw. There's a little lean on the pilot. O-ring is on there. That looks good. The choke was a little sticky. Let's take that off. 14 millimeter. Yeah, it feels a little bent. Everything looks intact though. Well, that looks pretty good. Not seeing anything wrong with the carb. Besides that float height. So you can see the tab on the float is pretty far down. We're going to bend that up a little bit. Put that back to level. That should be good. Alright, so the float height was the only thing wrong with the carb. Everything else looks perfect. We're going to blow that out, clean it out, make sure all the vent lines aren't clogged. Just going to blow through those quick and make sure. Yep, clear. 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 Alright, let's check the reads. Let's see what they look like. Alright, finally got these out. Take a peek. Trying to rip this gasket. Yeah, they look really good. Alright. Nothing wrong with those. Yeah, they're brand new. Alright, well that's definitely not the problem. Intake boot looks perfect. We're going to try to look down here and check out the piston. Alright, doesn't look like any scratches on there. Trying to look through here. Cylinder wall looks good. Nice cross hatches. Yeah, everything looks good there. Alright, reinstalled the carb. Now you can hear the slide hitting in there. So I wonder if that was stuck up. Yeah, that sounds a lot better now. So maybe that was the fix. Alright, I know we had good spark on the plug, but let's just put the plug in to the spark plug tester and see if it has a good reading here. That'll be interesting. Alright, here we go. Turn it on. We're going to slowly go up to 7,000 RPM. Oh, just shut off there. Huh, that's weird. Let's zoom in. Alright, let this sit. Oh, see that? It just cut out. That's 7,000 RPM. Try it again. Might be the plug. Slowly go up. Oh, see, it just shuts off. What the heck? He sent another plug we can test, so this is the one that was in there. That appears to be bad. So here's the one that he included with the purchase of the bike. Let's see if this one's good. That one's not shutting down. Alright, I think we're going to try that plug. That's interesting. I don't know why this one failed. This one looks brand new. That's weird. Alright, we've got gas going to the carb. We're going to shut off the gas just in case it's flooding out the engine. And we're going to attempt to fire this thing up. So it could either be the spark plug or the slide that wasn't closing all the way. Now you can hear it close. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see what happens. Choke it. Alright, she fired up but then died. I don't know why it died right there. But it sounded pretty good. Wasn't over revving. Was revving out. So, I wonder why the heck it just died. Let's see if she fires back up. Sounds like it's losing spark. Fire it up again. Huh. It's either running out of gas or losing spark. It's really weird. Alright, so it fired up, but it sounds like it's like losing spark and then just shuts off randomly. So we're going to put a brand new plug in. This is not an iridium plug, it's just a regular NGK BR8ES plug. We'll throw that in there and see what happens. Maybe there's something up with the plug. Alright, so that didn't help at all. Doing the same thing. Starts up and just bogs out right away. It's really, really weird. It's like it loses spark instantly. So, it's almost gotta be electrical, right? I mean, everything else is good. We can try unhooking the kill switch. Unplugging the kill switch didn't help at all. Alright, so this bike starts up, shuts off, starts up, shuts off, starts up, shuts off. Like it's only getting spark for like 5 seconds, shuts off. Gets spark for 5 seconds, shuts off. I tried looking at the carburetor, we adjusted the float height again. We adjusted the air screw setting with no change, just doing the same thing. I know it's getting fuel, the plug is wet, so something's going on. I don't know what it is. It's either we have a really bad air leak or the electronics are failing. So we're gonna try swapping parts. We've got the other 1995 over here. All right, I think we're gonna go right to what I think it is. I think it might be the stator. So we're gonna replace, or swap, I should say, the stator from the 1995 CR250 that had the bog to the one we're working on now. See if that fixes the problem. Just gotta be something electrical. Alright, there it is. Let's see if that fixes her problem. Let's do a quick ohm reading on the original one. Alright, let's see what we get here. Here's the pickup coil right here. Let's see what we get. $251. And on this one, the other one, we're getting $244. So it's most likely not the pickup coil. Let's check the blue and the white. on this one. Looks like 180. I don't want my hand to get on it. Yeah, 180. Alright, blue and the white on this one. Same thing. Maybe it's not the coil. They're all reading the same. But we're going to try it anyway. Look at that. What is going on there? That's all weld back here. Huh. That is very interesting. And that seal doesn't look the best right there either. I wonder if that weld is not holding. Looks a little wet. The seller did say he did a leak down test on it. We might have to do our own leak down test. That seal looks like it's probably not sealing there either. The good one, the other bike. We'll see if that makes a difference. But now I'm very suspicious of that weld and that seal. I'm not liking the way that looks. Alright, let's see if the stator was a problem here. This one's not connected here. Well, it's not the stator. Alright, we're swapping in the CDI. So this is going into here. Alright, so new CDI from the other bike, we know it's good. Let's see if that works. Well, not the CDI, it's doing the same thing. All right, we just swapped out coils. Let's see what that does. It was the coil. Oh man, that is insane. So the coil was bad. So this one right over here, where is it? Did we leave it on here? Right here. This coil was bad. Wow, that is crazy. So what we're gonna do is swap in the original CDI and the original stator and see if it still runs good. Then we know for sure it's that coil. All right, we've got the original CDI back on. Let's see if it still fires up. All right, so it wasn't the CDI, it was definitely the coil. We're gonna put the original stator back in and see if it still works. All right, original stator's back on. See what happens. Stator works. So it was the coil all along, which is insane because we had amazing spark. So figure that one out. All right, we got the seat back on, the tank back on, all the plastics back on. And I think we got this into idle. Running pretty good. No knocking from the engine. All right, that bike sounds great. Idling perfectly, no knocking from the engine, no leaking. Everything is perfect. So let's go take it for a test drive and see what the heck happens. All right, made it up to the land. Let's see how this thing runs. Hopefully it was just the coil causing the issue and there's nothing else going on with this bike. that's how a 1995 CR250 should run. Flawless, wow, just running amazing. Not a single issue with this bike. Brakes are great, suspension feels awesome. No bog at all. So this one is completely fixed. Ended up being just that coil. That is crazy. I cannot believe it. So we got this bike for $1,350. It's probably now worth more than $2,000. And the culprit was the coil. So we got really lucky, but it took a while to find, not gonna lie. Probably took me 4 hours to do all the diagnostics work and try to figure it out. But in the end, we got this thing fixed and it's running great. All right, well, this bike is good to go. Luckily, it was just the coil causing all the issues. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video on this bike, picking it up for $1,350, diagnosing it, and then taking it for the first ride. I'm just happy it runs really, really good. The other reason I bought this bike is because I have another 1995 CR250 that's having some issues. So this bike is bogging pretty bad. So what we're gonna do next video is test the CDI from this bike and stator from that bike, swap it over to this bike, and see if that gets rid of the bog. I'm thinking this bike has an electrical problem, but I'm not 100% sure. We also bought a leak down tester kit, so we can test that as well. So stay tuned for that video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and until next time, we are out.